Grandma Ella and me, Tarrell, are going for a lovely walk. She always has a story to tell and I love to hear her talk. Hand in hand we'll always be. I'm forever looking around. You never know what I will see. Grandma, look what I found.
Why, Tarrell, you found an anthill.
What do ants do all day?
Ants work very hard all day building tunnels and gathering food. Even though they're very small, they can build big hills when they work together. Ants eat just about anything they can carry.
Now it's time to sit on the swing to hear it tell what would it be. An ant story is just a thing. Grandma, will you tell me a story?
Let's see. Andy was the smallest ant in the whole ant colony, and he could never carry as much as the other ants. "Don't worry, son," his mother would say. "Just do your best. Someday you'll be as big as all the others." One day, the worker ants came upon the remains of a picnic. The leftover food looked scrum-diddly-icious, but it was all covered up. Soon the people would come back and throw it all away. There was a funny container filled with leftover strawberry bits, but the lid was on very tight. The workers climbed all over the container, but it was no use. "We have to get inside to lift the lid off," someone whispered to Andy. Just then, Anton, one of the really big ants, found a tiny hole. But Anton was way too big to squeeze through the tiny hole. All the bigger ants stepped aside to let Andy pass. "You can do it, Andy," they cried. "Once you get inside, give the lid a push," instructed Anton. Andy squeezed through the little hole as everyone cheered. When he pushed the lid up, they yelled, "Hooray for little Andy!" And that's when Andy, the littlest ant, knew that sometimes being small is the best of all.
That was a good story, Grandma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grandma Ella and me, Tarrell, head back to the house for tea. It's time for us to go as well, but we'll be back, you'll see. Grandma Ella and me, Tarrell, are going for a lovely walk. She always has a story to tell and I love to hear her talk. Hand in hand we'll always be. I'm forever looking around. You never know what I will see. Grandma, look what I found.
Why, Tarrell, you found a caterpillar.
What do caterpillars eat?
Caterpillars munch on lots and lots of leaves until they get nice and fat. Then they spin a cocoon and go to sleep. Before it gets cold, they'll change into a beautiful butterfly.
Now it's time to sit on the swing to hear it tell what would it be. A caterpillar story is just a thing. Grandma, will you tell me a story?
Let's see. Carly the caterpillar was feeling very bad. This morning when she was playing tag with some of the other bugs, they had been making fun of her. The bee buzzed that a bug without wings was no good since it couldn't fly. The grasshopper hopped about laughing at Carly's short legs that couldn't even jump. And Cricket called her roly-poly because she was getting so fat. Carly munched sadly away. She looked so sad that her friends came over to apologize. "We're sorry, Carly." "We could play something else," suggested the grasshopper. "No, thanks," replied Carly. "I think I'm going to have a nap. I'm so sleepy." "Okay, maybe when you wake up," suggested Cricket. Carly slowly spun a cocoon around herself and curled up into a ball. "I wish I had wings to fly or long legs to jump, and that I didn't eat so much," thought Carly sadly to herself as she fell asleep. Much later, Carly awoke from her nap. She crawled out of her cocoon and had a big stretch. Something felt funny. While she was sleeping, she had grown into a butterfly and she flew off to jump and play with the others.
That was a good story, Grandma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, head back to the house for tea. It's time for us to go as well, but we'll be back, you'll see. Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, are going for a lovely walk. She always has a story to tell and I love to hear her talk. Hand in hand will always be, I'm forever looking around. You never know what I will see. Come on, Grandma.
Coming, Tarrell, coming.
Grandma, look what I found.
Why, Tarrell, you found a cricket.
They can jump. What else can they do?
Crickets can sing by rubbing their legs together. The warmer it is outside, the more the cricket will sing. They're sort of a funny kind of bug. They have ears on their knees.
Now it's time to sit on the swing to hear it too. What would it be? A cricket story is just a thing. Grandma, will you tell me a story?
Let's see. Christopher Cricket lived in a pile of wood. It was neatly piled firewood stacked right outside Mrs. Brown's kitchen window. All summer long, Christopher did 3 things. He sang, he munched on leaves, and he sang and munched on leaves with his friends. He was very content and happy. That's what crickets are supposed to do. As the days went by, it began to get cooler. All his leaf-munching friends were leaving, and his singing friends were too busy getting ready for winter to sing. Christopher didn't know what to do. He was cold and lonely. One day, little Billy Brown rushed out and gathered some sticks of firewood into his arms. He didn't notice he had grabbed up Christopher Cricket and carried him into the house as well. It was so nice and warm by the fireplace that the little cricket couldn't help himself. He burst into song. "Oh!" exclaimed Billy. "I must have brought in a bug." Christopher held his breath. He didn't want to go back outside into the cold. Mrs. Brown spoke right up. "Let him be, son. My grandmother always said that a cricket is lucky in the home." Christopher thought so too, as he settled in for a warm winter of singing by the fire.
That was a good story, Grandma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, head back to the house for tea. It's time for us to go as well, but we'll be back, you'll see. Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, are going for a lovely walk. She always has a story to tell and I love to hear her talk. Hand in hand will always be, I'm forever looking around. You never know what I will see. Grandma, look what I found.
Why, Tarrell, you found a bug net.
What's it for?
It's used for gently catching flying bugs like butterflies and moths. If you use a net, you can be sure you don't hurt them or damage their wings. Julia has a bug net. You must always be careful not to hurt living creatures if you can help it.
Now it's time to sit on the swing to hear it too. What would it be? Bug net story, just a thing. Grandma, will you tell me a story?
Let's see. Becca was bonkers over bugs. She had a brand new bug net and she couldn't wait to use it. Out to the meadow she ran with her net. Everywhere she looked, a bug flew by, but Becca couldn't catch any of them. She ran back and forth, here and there, waving her bug net in the air, but she didn't catch one bug. Suddenly, trip! A raindrop dropped on Becca's nose, and drip-drop, drip-drop. More raindrops landed on her cheek and her knee. Becca ducked underneath a bush. "The leaves above me will keep me dry," said Becca as she settled in to watch the rain. As Becca sat and watched the raindrops bounce here and there, a beetle crawled into the space. Becca stayed as quiet as she could. She stayed so still that a butterfly flew in and landed on her shoulder. A group of ants marched past her toes, and a ladybug climbed up her arm. Becca was delighted. Becca and her bugs watched the sky grow lighter and the rain stop. She climbed out of the bush to head for home. "Did you catch anything?" her mother called. "Nope," said Becca. "They caught me."
That was a good story, Grandma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, head back to the house for tea. It's time for us to go as well, but we'll be back, you'll see. Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, are going for a lovely walk. She always has a story to tell, and I love to hear her talk. Hand in hand will always be, I'm forever looking around. You never know what I will see. Grandma, look what I found.
Why, Tarrell, you found a spider in his web.
Why do spider makes webs?
Spiders spin webs so that they can catch other bugs. They also use their webs as a lifeline. They spin one long, thin strand so that they can always climb or swing away from danger.
Now it's time to sit on the swing to hear it too. What would it be? A spider story, just a thing. Grandma, will you tell me a story?
Let's see. I know an old native legend about spiders. A long, long time ago, the native people were living in an age of darkness. The sun never came out at all. It was dark and gloomy and cold. Many creatures tried to help the people find light, but the bear, the horse, and the goose could not find their way in the dark. When the spider volunteered to try, no one believed she could do it. The others had been big and strong, and they had failed. How could a little spider succeed? But the spider had a lifeline. Throughout the long, dark journey, she spun a single strand of her web. When she found the sunlight, she put some sunbeams in a pot and then followed her lifeline back home. The people were surprised and amazed to see the little spider return. When the chief opened the pot the spider carried, the sun's rays beamed out in the shape and pattern of a spider's web. The native people were so grateful to the spider that to this day they pay tribute to her by decorating their pots and homes with a spider's web design.
That was a good story, Grandma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, head back to the house for tea. It's time for us to go as well, but we'll be back, you'll see. Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, are going for a lovely walk. She always has a story to tell, and I love to hear her talk. Hand in hand will always be, I'm forever looking around. You never know what I will see. Come on, Grandma.
Coming, Tarrell, coming.
Grandma, look what I found.
Why, Tarrell, you found some grasshoppers.
What do they eat?
Grasshoppers are vegetarians. They eat plants like grass and leaves. Grasshoppers have very strong back legs and they can jump really far.
Now it's time to sit on the swing to hear it too. What would it be? A grasshopper story is just a thing. Grandma, will you tell me a story?
Let's see. Gertie the grasshopper was very impatient. She wanted everything now and she didn't like to wait. Right now she wanted her little brother Glenn to hurry up. They were on their way to the meadow, but Gertie thought it was taking way too long to get there. "Can't you hop any faster?" snapped Gertie over her shoulder. She could see the other grasshoppers playing and munching. Gertie started to hop faster. Glenn was falling further and further behind. Pretty soon Glenn couldn't see Gertie through the tall grass. And then it didn't take long for him to start hopping the wrong way. It wasn't until someone asked about Glenn that Gertie realized her little brother wasn't right behind her. "Oh, no!" cried Gertie. She hopped back as fast as she could. "Glenn!" she called in a scared voice. "Where are you?" "Over here, Gertie," called a little voice. Gertie rushed over to her brother. "I just stayed in one place when I knew I was lost," said little Glenn. "I knew if I was patient, you would come back and find me." And that was the day that Gertie the impatient grasshopper found out that good things come to those who wait.
That was a good story, Grandma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, head back to the house for tea. It's time for us to go as well, but we'll be back, you'll see. Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, are going for a lovely walk. She always has a story to tell and I love to hear her talk. Hand in hand will always be, I'm forever looking around. You never know what I will see. Grandma, look what I found.
Why, Tarrell, you found a ladybug.
What does she do all day?
A ladybug is a very helpful bug. She keeps away other bugs who want to eat all the garden plants. Other bugs know her bright red color and black spots and stay away.
Now it's time to sit on the swing to hear it too. What would it be? Our Ladybug Story is just a thing. Grandma, will you tell me a story?
Let's see. Carla liked to count. She liked to count spots, for Carla was a ladybug. Although Carla liked counting, she could only count to 5. And she dearly wanted to count to 10. Ollie was Carla's oldest brother. He had 10 spots on his back. "Tell you what, Carla," Ollie said one day. "How about practicing counting on my spots?" 1, 2, 3. Carla counted slowly and carefully. She was trying very hard. 4, 5. "Now this is where I always get stuck." "You'll get it," encouraged Ollie. "It rhymes with sticks." 6, cried Carla with delight. "Oh, I know the next ones. 7 and 8. "You're almost there, Carla," said Ollie patiently. "You're doing fine." 9, yelled Carla. "It rhymes with fine." "Oh, I know what comes last too. It's 10, cried Carla proudly. "You did it, little lady. I knew you could," said Ollie. Carla began to count flower petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm a good counter.
That was a good story, Grandma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Grandma, Ella, and me, Tarrell, head back to the house for tea. It's time for us to go as well, but we'll be back, you'll see.
To order a DVD or video of this program, call 1-800-876-2447 or visit our website at www.chiptaylor.com.